Hello, family. G. Bruno here. You may consider dropping sugar after watching this video. Let's have this conversation. Sugar harms brain and mental health. Why you need to drop toxic sugar in all forms. Sugar as sweet poison, deceptively, causes energy crashes and brain fog, impairs memory and learning, increases risk of depression, worsens anxiety, promotes addictive eating behavior, disrupts dopamine reward balance, increases risk of Alzheimer's disease. Sugar harms the brain and mental health by disrupting brain chemistry, increasing inflammation, and damaging long-term brain function. The effects can show up as mood swings today, and memory, focus, or mental illness over time. How sugar harms the brain and mental health. 1. Blood sugar spikes affect mood. Sugar causes rapid rises and drops in blood glucose. This leads to irritability, anxiety, restlessness, sudden fatigue, or brain fog. These ups and downs strain the brain's ability to regulate emotions. 2. Worsens anxiety and depression. Sugar intake interferes with neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, feel-good chemicals. Result? Short-term pleasure, long-term low mood, increased risk of depression and anxiety. Studies show people who consume more sugar have higher rates of mood disorders. 3. Sugar impairs memory and learning. Excess sugar reduces brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, slows communication between brain cells, affects the hippocampus, memory center. This can cause poor concentration, forgetfulness, slower learning. 4. Causes brain inflammation. Sugar triggers chronic inflammation, which damages brain cells. Inflamed brain tissue is linked to depression, cognitive decline, increased risk of dementia. 5. Promotes insulin resistance in the brain. The brain also uses insulin. Too much sugar can cause brain insulin resistance. This leads to reduced mental clarity, poor decision-making, increased risk of Alzheimer's disease, sometimes called type 3 diabetes. 6. Disrupts sleep patterns. Sugar interferes with sleep hormones. Effects include difficulty falling asleep, night awakenings, poor sleep quality. Poor sleep further worsens mood, anxiety, and memory. 7. Creates addictive behavior. Sugar activates the brain's reward system similar to addictive substances. This causes cravings, loss of control, emotional eating, dependence on sugar for comfort. 8. Increases stress hormones. Sugar raises cortisol and adrenaline, keeping the brain in fight or flight mode. Chronic stress damages emotional regulation, mental resilience, long-term brain health. Sugars that harm the brain. Most soda and energy drinks, sweets and candy, cakes, raises blood pressure, increases triglycerides, lowers good HDL cholesterol, promotes artery inflammation, increases risk of heart disease, raises risk of stroke, causes insulin resistance. Sugar quietly damages your heart long before symptoms appear. Sugars most harmful to the heart. Soda and energy drinks, sweetened tea and coffee, packaged fruit juices, cakes, biscuits, sweets, white bread, and refined carbs. Sugar harms the heart and blood vessels by damaging arteries, increasing inflammation, and disrupting cholesterol and blood sugar balance. Over time, this greatly raises the risk of heart disease, stroke, and high blood pressure. How sugar harms the heart and blood vessels. 1. Sugar is toxic. It raises bad cholesterol, LDL, and triglycerides. High sugar intake, especially fructose and sugary drinks, causes the liver to produce more triglycerides and LDL, bad cholesterol. This leads to fat buildup in arteries, narrowed blood vessels, reduced blood flow to the heart. 2. Sugar lowers good cholesterol, HDL. Sugar reduces HDL, good cholesterol, which normally helps remove excess cholesterol from blood vessels. Less HDL equals faster plaque buildup. 3. Sugar causes inflammation of blood vessels. Sugar triggers chronic inflammation, damaging the inner lining of arteries, endothelium. Damaged arteries become stiff, attract cholesterol plaque, are more likely to clot. This is a major cause of atherosclerosis. 4. Increases blood pressure. Sugar increases blood pressure by raising insulin levels, causes sodium retention, stiffening arteries, activating stress hormones. High blood pressure forces the heart to work harder, weakening it over time. 5. Promotes insulin resistance and diabetes. Sugar leads to insulin resistance, which damages blood vessels, doubles to quadruples heart disease risk, increases stroke risk. People with diabetes are much more likely to suffer heart attacks. 6. Causes fatty liver to heart risk. Sugar is converted into fat in the liver, leading to fatty liver disease. This condition raises triglycerides, worsens cholesterol balance, increases heart disease risk. 7. Increases blood clot risk. Sugar makes blood thicker, more likely to clot. Clots can block arteries, causing heart attacks, strokes. How sugar harms teeth and mouth. Causes tooth decay, feeds harmful oral bacteria, leads to gum disease, causes bad breath. How to protect your teeth. Drop sugar intake. Brush twice daily with salt. Drink plenty of water. Visit the dentist regularly. Sugar causes mouth and tooth problems mainly by feeding harmful bacteria and creating acids that damage teeth and gums. Here's how it happens, step by step. How sugar harms the mouth and teeth. 1. Sugar feeds harmful bacteria. Your mouth naturally has bacteria. When you eat sugar, sweets, soda, biscuits, sweet tea, these bacteria feed on it and multiply rapidly. 2. Acid produced attacks tooth enamel. As bacteria digest sugar, they produce acid. This acid attacks tooth enamel, the hard outer layer, softens and weakens teeth, starts the process of decay. Repeated acid attacks lead to permanent damage. 3. Tooth decay, cavities. Over time, acid creates tiny holes in the enamel called cavities. If untreated, cavities can reach the inner tooth, dentin and pulp, cause severe pain, lead to infections or tooth loss. 4. Gum disease. Sugar contributes to plaque buildup, a sticky film on teeth. Plaque irritates gums, causing redness, swelling, bleeding when brushing. This can progress to gingivitis and later periodontitis, which may loosen teeth. 5. Bad breath, halitosis. Bacteria feeding on sugar release foul-smelling gases, leading to persistent bad breath, unpleasant taste in the mouth. 6. Tooth sensitivity. As enamel wears away, teeth become sensitive to cold, hot, or sweet foods. Pain occurs when eating or drinking. 7. Mouth infections and thrush. High sugar intake can encourage fungal growth, like yeast, especially in people with diabetes, weak immune systems. This can cause oral thrush, white patches, soreness. Sugary foods that are most harmful: soda and energy drinks, sweets and candies, cakes, biscuits, donuts, sweetened tea, coffee, and juices, sticky foods, toffees, chewing sweets. How sugar harms weight and hormones. Promotes weight gain, increases belly fat, disrupts hunger hormones, leptin and ghrelin, slows metabolism over time, increases risk of obesity. Simple tips to reduce sugar weight gain. Drink water instead of soda/juice. Eat whole foods, vegetables, protein, healthy fats. Avoid hidden sugars. wheat/belly bread, sauces, cereals like rice. Replace sugar with natural foods, not artificial sweeteners. Creates a vicious cycle. Sugar to weight gain to insulin resistance, to more sugar cravings, to more fat storage. Sugar increases chronic inflammation from sugar. Sugar damages cells, promotes obesity, interferes with hormones that regulate weight. Suvar promotes fat storage at night. Eating sugar in the evening spikes insulin, stops fat burning during sleep, stores more fat overnight, leads to liquid calories. Sugary drinks, sodas, juices, energy drinks, don't make you full. Add hundreds of hidden calories, are the fastest way to gain weight, causes sugar cravings and addiction. Sugar activates the brain's dopamine reward system, making you crave more sugar, just like an addictive substance. 6. Sugar slows metabolism. Frequent sugar intake reduces fat-burning ability, increases insulin resistance, makes weight loss harder even with exercise, makes you hungrier. Sugar disrupts hunger hormones, leptin, satiety hormone, stops working properly. Ghrelin, hunger hormone, increases. Result, you eat more even when full. 3. Sugar increases belly fat, visceral fat. Sugar, especially fructose, is stored in the liver and converted into fat. This leads to belly fat, fatty liver, increased waist size, triggers insulin spikes. Eating sugar causes blood sugar to rise sharply. The body releases insulin, which pushes sugar into fat cells, prevents fat burning, encourages fat storage. High insulin equals weight gain. 1. Sugar causes rapid weight gain. Sugar is high in calories but low in nutrients. Excess sugar is quickly converted into fat, especially around the belly. Sugar harms immune system and cause very bad inflammation, weakens immune response, increases inflammation throughout the body, slows wound healing, makes infections harder to fight. Warning signs: sugar is weakening your immunity. Frequent colds or infections, slow wound healing, constant fatigue, gut issues, bloating, diarrhea, inflammation and pain. 1. Sugar suppresses white blood cell function. After sugar intake, white blood cells become slower and less effective. Their ability to destroy bacteria and viruses drops. Result: weaker defense against infections. 2. Sugar increases inflammation, chronic immune stress. Sugar fuels chronic inflammation. Immune system stays in always-on mode. This exhausts immune cells over time. Result: immune burnout and poor response to real threats. 3. Sugar feeds harmful gut bacteria. About 70% of the immune system lives in the gut. Sugar feeds harmful bacteria and yeast, reduces beneficial gut microbes. Result: poor gut immunity and frequent illness. 4. Sugar reduces antioxidant levels. Sugar intake depletes vitamin C and zinc inside immune cells, increases oxidative stress. Result: weakened immune response and slower healing. 5. Sugar slows recovery from illness. Elevated blood sugar reduces oxygen delivery to tissues, impairs tissue repair. Result: longer-lasting infections and fatigue. 6. Sugar increases. Sugar intake make you more prone to colds and flu, respiratory infections, skin and wound infections. Result: getting sick more often. 7. Sugar interferes with immune signaling. Sugar disrupts communication between immune cells, delays recognition of pathogens, weakens coordinated immune attacks. Result: slow and ineffective immune response. 8. Sugar worsens autoimmune and allergic conditions. Sugar increase immune overreaction, intensify allergy and autoimmune flare-ups. Result: more severe symptoms and frequent flare-ups. Promotes insulin resistance, indirect immune damage. Chronic high sugar leads to insulin resistance, alters immune cell metabolism. Result: long-term immune dysfunction. 9. Sugar promotes insulin resistance, indirect immune damage. Chronic high sugar leads to insulin resistance, alters immune cell metabolism. Result: long-term immune dysfunction. Sugar is very toxic to bones, joints, and muscles. Leaches calcium from bones. Increases risk of osteoporosis. Worsens joint pain and arthritis. Causes muscle weakness. Sugar quietly inflames, weakens, and wears down your bones, joints, and muscles. Reducing sugar often leads to less pain, better movement, and stronger strength within weeks. Warning signs: your bones, joints, and muscles are affected. Morning joint stiffness, frequent aches without injury, weak grip strength, slow recovery after activity, bone pain or frequent cramps. How to protect bones, joints, and muscles? Checkmark. Cut down sugary drinks and snacks. Checkmark. Eat calcium and magnesium-rich foods. Checkmark. Include protein for muscle repair. Checkmark. Stay physically active. Strength plus movement. Checkmark. Drink enough water. 1. Weakens bones. Increases fracture risk. High sugar intake reduces calcium absorption. Increases calcium loss through urine. Interferes with vitamin D function. Result: weaker bones, brittle structure, higher risk of fractures and osteoporosis. 2. Triggers joint inflammation and pain. Sugar fuels chronic inflammation in the body. Inflammatory chemicals attack joint tissues. Joint lining becomes irritated and swollen. Result: joint pain, stiffness, swelling, especially in knees, hips, fingers, and back. 3. Sugar damages cartilage. Sugar causes a process called glycation. Sugar binds to proteins in cartilage. Cartilage becomes stiff and fragile. Result: faster joint wear and tear, worsening arthritis and joint degeneration. 4. Increases risk of arthritis flare-ups. High blood sugar activates inflammatory pathways, makes autoimmune and degenerative joint conditions worse. Result: more frequent and more painful arthritis flare-ups. 4. Increases risk of arthritis flare-ups. High blood sugar activates inflammatory pathways, makes autoimmune and degenerative joint conditions worse. Result: more frequent and more painful arthritis flare-ups. 5. Sugar consumption causes muscle weakness and fatigue. Sugar spikes insulin and blood glucose, disrupts muscle energy balance, promotes muscle protein breakdown. Result: muscle weakness, tiredness, poor endurance. 6. Sugar slows muscle recovery. Sugar increases oxidative stress, reduces repair of muscle fibers after work or exercise. Result: longer recovery time, more soreness. 7. Sugar increases muscle loss with age. Sugar intake accelerates muscle wasting, sarcopenia, reduces muscle strength over time. Result: loss of strength, balance issues, higher fall risk. 8. Sugar promotes weight gain, extra joint stress. Sugar adds empty calories, leads to fat gain. Extra body weight puts pressure on joints. Result: knee pain, hip pain, lower back pain. 9. Sugar worsens gout attacks. Sugary drinks, especially fructose, increase uric acid levels. Result: painful gout attacks, often in toes, ankles, and knees.